So guys, we are starting off with assembly language. So assembly language, also abbreviated as ASM, is any low level language in which there is a very strong correspondence between the instructions in the assembly language and the machine code instructions. Right. So coming toward instructions, basically instructions, or you can say statements, in assembly language are quite simple as compared to the high level languages. And generally, a mnemonic is a symbolic name for a single executable instruction in the assembly language. So if we come over here, you can see that almost every instructions in assembly language has two parts, that is operation code as well as the address reference. So what is opcode? Opcode basically identifies that what operation is to be done, like you can say addition or subtraction or these kind of things. And operand references, this is the unique address of memory location where the operation is needed to be done. Operands can be immediate value, variables, memory addresses, or registers. So we will see this thing in detail in the next slides. So here, for example, if add a comma b is an instruction, here you can see this add is a mnemonic and this whole add a comma b is an instruction. Then add is a mnemonic which represents unique opcode of add operation, which is telling the CPU to add something, like add a and b, and the result will be stored in the a variable. And depending upon the architecture of the computer, we may have a third reference where the result of the operation will be stored as just one reference, and we will see this reference thing in the very next slide. In case of one reference, accumulator register AX will be used to hold the temporary data used during the arithmetic operations. Okay. Here you can see that reference thing. When we have one reference, it looks something like this. Like here we have the mnemonic move, M-O-V-E, for that short is move A. Copy the value of a variable into the accumulator register AX. Right, it copies the value of a into our accumulator register AX, and what is AX and the registers we will see in a while. Then we have add b. Normally we are familiar with adding two numbers or two variables, like c equals a plus b, like that, but here it adds the value of b variable into the value of AX register and keep the result in the AX register. We will see this one through examples also, you will understand it clearly. Then we have store mnemonic. Here store C, it copies the value of accumulator register in the C variable. Next we have two references like this, a comma b, these are the references, and add is the mnemonic, it adds the value of b into a and keep the result in a. Store C comma a, copy the value of a into C variable. And really we also use sometimes the three references like add C, A and B, but it doesn't mean that all three values will be added and result will be in the C variable just like that, but here it adds the value of A and B and stores the result in the C variable only. Next comes the registers and their types. So registers are basically small but faster memory locations located inside the CPU. This is quite important, that registers are inside the CPU and they are used to quickly accept, store and transfer data and instructions that are being used immediately by the CPU. Basically it acts like a buffer, right, that the instruction that CPU needs to execute, it just holds it temporarily just to quick the process of the CPU. And there are some types like AC, accumulator register, data registers, DR, PC, MDR registers. And registers have several categories as well. For example, general purpose registers, special purpose, segment registers, instruction pointer, and status flags. We will see the general purpose registers because we use them the most in our coding. And like AX stands for accumulator register, base register, counter register, and data register. Next comes special purpose registers like stack pointer, base pointer, source index, and destination index. We will see all of these things as we come across them later on. Then we have the segment registers like code segment, data segment, extra segment, and stack segment. And IP, also called as the program counter, which holds the address of the instruction that is to be executed next by the CPU. Then we have some flags over here. So we will go through general purpose registers because they are quite important. And we have a three type of register, like 32-bit registers, 16-bit, and 8-bit registers. And here you can see these AX, BX, CX, TX are for, as I have told earlier, accumulator, base, counter, and data register. But this extra term E, it stands for extended accumulator register, extended base register. Why extended? Because here we have 32-bit registers, right? But if you see on at the next place, here we have 16-bit registers, and because here it is 16, so we don't use the term extended here. It's just AX, BX, CX, etc. And if we divide 32 by 2, we get 16. Means the half part of 32 is 16. It is the lower part of the 32-bit registers, which is called as 16-bit registers. And further, if we divide 16 into two parts, lower and higher part, we get the 8-bit registers. Here you can see AL, accumulator, lower accumulator, higher base, lower, are all 8-bit registers, and the H and L suffix on the 8-bit registers stand for high byte and low byte of 16-bit registers. Basically, if you this is an 8-bit register, this is an 8-bit registers, and if we combine those two accumulator registers, on the whole we get an 16-bit registers, right? Because it is a lower part, this AL is a lower part of the 16-bit register, and this AH is the lower half of the upper half of the 16-bit register. So AH and AL separately are 8-bit, but if we combine both of them, it forms a 16-bit registers. Okay. Next comes some basic instructions, like we have move mnemonic. How we use this in our programming, like move OP1, OP2 means operand 1 and operand 2. Copies the data from the operand 2 into the operand 1. Add OP1, OP2, add operand 2 into operand 1 and keep the result in operand 1. And next comes the mul instructions for multiplication. Here you can see, here we have only one reference, unlike those of the above, right? And it multiplies the operand to EAX and store the result in EDX or EAX. This is EAX. So although it takes only one reference, but still whatever the value is moved in EAX will be multiplied by OP1 and the result will be stored in the EX or EDX register. We will see this in the next slide, what is this EDX and EAX thing. Okay, next comes call proc 1, like procedure 1, calling the procedure 1. Procedure are like functions and methods in assembly language. We are calling some procedure over here by the statement. Here we have to note that all arithmetic operations are performed in registers only. You have to perform operations in only registers. Variable can only store the data, but they cannot perform the arithmetic operations in the assembly language, right? So now coming toward the mul mnemonic, we can see that the EAX and EDX concept. When two 32-bit integers are multiplied, it forms what? It forms a 64-bit integer. And as we have seen earlier that we have only 32-bit, 16-bit or 8-bit registers. We don't have a register to store a 64-bit integer. So how we will overcome this problem of 64-bit integers? So to solve this problem, we use two registers instead of a single register, and that is EAX and EDX. So if we divide 64 by 2, we get 32, which means we divide 64 into two parts. One is lower part, another one is higher part. The lower part in 32-bit, that is the lower part, 32-bit architecture, 64-bit registers don't exist. Hence, to accommodate 64-bit integer, upper 32 bits are moved to the EDX, right? And lower 32 bits are moved to the EAX register. In this way, we can solve the problem of the 64-bit integer to store this number. But if we only suppose we multiply 16 bit with a 16 bit, we get 32-bit integer, but we have a register that can store a 32-bit integer. So for that case, we only need the value will only be stored in the EAX register, extended accumulator register. It doesn't need any EDX register in that particular case. Okay, next comes procedures. Procedures are just like functions or methods like any high-level language, and these procedures are present in KIP-RY library of the assembly language. And first one is write int. It basically prints the value of the EAX registers on the screen. Whatever is stored in EAX, if we write it as call write int, it will display the value of EX on the screen. And if we write call read int, it basically generates an interrupt. That means it makes the user wait unless he enters something, and that very entered value will be stored in the EX register. So that's it for today. Thank you.